Welcome to Reason and Company. We had some good news this week. We always love some good news. On the front of the Supreme Court, Ed Vitagliano, Abraham Hamilton III, Walker Wildman. Two cases we want to talk about specifically that we got some good news. Talk about the California case first.
Yeah, California case called NIFLA versus Becerra, where the California state legislature passed a law that required pro-life pregnancy centers, and the court even observed that were run mostly by Christians, to advertise for abortion providers, namely or including Planned Parenthood. If a person came to the pro-life pregnancy center, they would have to be confronted with information as to where they can get low-cost or even free abortions.
And provide referrals even?
And provide, well, not requiring them to provide referrals,
Okay.
but to put the information give the information to them, including the phone numbers as to where they could go to
All right.
and kill their babies.
So how did the case turn out?
5-4 decision, the court concluded that it was an abuse and violation of the First Amendment to compel these pro-life pregnancy centers to comply with that law. So it was a good ruling for the First Amendment, good ruling for those pro-life pregnancy centers in California, and a good ruling for all Americans. You want to go to the next one?
No, well, I'll tell you what, we're going to get Walker in on this. Now, the Trump travel ban, the so-called Trump travel ban, that was really in the spotlight for a lot of Americans because the Constitution gives the president the right, and federal law gives the president the right to determine who comes into this country. What happened in the Hawaii case?
Yeah, the case called Donald J. Trump versus Hawaii is a case, what Ed mentioned, and the basic arguments of the case is whether the executive branch has the sole authority to regulate who comes into our country and who doesn't. And President Trump, months ago, maybe a year ago, did what they call a travel ban and restricted travel from 7 countries where there's not proper vetting and there's terrorism concerns there. So that was a 5-4 win. President Trump maintains the authority to regulate travel.
All right. Now, Walker mentioned that it was a 5-4 ruling, okay, as was the case in California.
Yeah.
So we go back to the 2016 election where a lot of people, a lot of conservatives, a lot of Christians were saying we're going to vote for Donald Trump. We know this guy has character issues. We're going to vote for Donald Trump primarily because of the Supreme Court. What happens in some of these cases, even ones we didn't talk about today, if Hillary Clinton had been president?
America is different, just like that. We live in a different country. The NIFLA versus Becerra case was ruled on First Amendment grounds. The travel ban case was ruled on constitutional and federal legal grounds. If you replace Justice Gorsuch with Merrick Garland, you have a complete transformation overnight of the legal framework of the United States of America. And that is not an overstatement. The 2016 election literally shaped the landscape of the freedoms that we have come to enjoy in America and them being maintained. It is not an overstatement to say that if it wasn't for the 2016 election win, we probably would not be able to avail ourselves of the First Amendment today.
Well, that's scary news, and it does prove the point that elections do have consequences. They had consequences in 2016. They'll have consequences in 2018, 2020, because this country is double-minded, caught between two opinions. And Christians need to be involved, informed, and they need to vote. Well, anyway, that's what we have for today. Thank you for joining us on Reason and Company. Look forward to seeing you next time.